Go ahead.
How do you, this is, modern technology is crazy nowadays. Okay, there we go. Hi, I'm Allen Ginsberg, and I wrote the poem Howl in the early 20th century.
So my poem was a very controversial one because I used a lot of words that a lot of people think were obscene. I just think they were words. People gave them a meaning.
Hey, Gabe, check out this line. With dreams, with drugs, with waking nightmares, alcohol, and...
So
Is that even legal?
it was actually so controversial. Some people needed to take it to court and prosecute it. Okay, there's a fat judge. I remember that.
The words in this poem are vile and have no literary meaning, making this poem not only obscene, but vulgar, and overall stupid, Your Honor.
You made some valid points, Mr. Grunex. Any rebuttal, Mr. Holland?
These words are very important to Allen Ginsberg because they show his life and his story, and without these words, it would not be his life or story. By showing the story through his eyes, the words give the poem literary meaning and value. Due to this, the poem Howl is not obscene. I rest my case.
Go.
Mr. Lopez, you're an English professor,
Yes,
correct?
sir. At UCLA.
So, Mr. Lopez, what gives this poem literary meaning?
Well, you see, Mr. Ginsberg was telling his life story through his own words, and by choosing these obscene words, he showed his voice through the writing. By telling his story in his own words, he also gave the poem literary meaning and value.
Go.
You may be seated now.
Thank you, sir.
After reviewing the testimonies of the witnesses and the statements of the lawyers, I hereby find Howl not obscene.
Newfangled devices. How does this? Okay. There we go. Let's go.
Yeah. So once I heard about the jury and the verdict and the judge's ideas and whatever on the court case, I was really excited because I figured that my poem would still be published and I would have a literary impact on generations to come.
Keeps freaking falling. God, I said, God, Yahweh, okay. But me, Allen Ginsberg, is now going to read some of my poem by Allen Ginsberg. It's called Howl. I saw the best minds of my generation destroyed by madness, starving hysterically naked, dragging themselves through the Negro streets at dawn looking for an angry fix. Man, when I read some of these poems, it really makes me think and just wonder about what I'm actually talking about.
Set.
Moloch,
Hey.
okay, this is taking a little long. Can we speed it up here?
What do you want?
Just speed it up.
All right, okay.
Go.
Angel-headed hipsters burning for the ancient heavenly connection to the starry dynamo and the machinery of night, who poverty and tatters and hollow-eyed and high sat up smoking in the supernatural darkness of Coldwater Flats, floating across the top of cities and complimenting jazz. Fell from the academies for crazy and publishing obscene odes on the windows of the skull, who covered in unshaven rooms, in underwear, burning their money in wastebaskets, and listening to the terror through the wall. I'm talking about sex, I think. Who got busted in the public beards, returning through Laredo with a belt of marijuana from New York. Who vanished into nowhere Zen, New Jersey, leaving a trail of ambiguous pictures, postcards of Atlantic City. He's killing you,
Ready?
fat.
Thank you, I didn't tell.
Yeah.
You didn't tell?
I couldn't tell. Ready, Corbin? Better? And go.
Who lit cigarettes in boxcars, racketing through snow towards Lonesome Farms and Grandfather Night. Who jumped in limousines with Chinamen of Oklahoma on the impulse of wintry midnight streets, small town rain. Who ate lamb stew on the imagination or digested the crab at the muddy bottom of the river's Bowery. Who cut their wrists 3 times, successively, unsuccessfully gave up, and were forced to open antique stores where they thought they were growing old and cried. who jumped off the Brooklyn Bridge, this actually happened, and walked away unknown and forgotten into the ghostly days of Chinatown soup alleyways and fire trucks. Not even one free beer. Drove cross country 72 hours to find out if I had a vision, or you had a vision, or he had a vision, to find out eternity.
Go.
Ah, Carl, well, you are not safe. I am not safe. And now you're really in total animal soup of time.
Yeah, make it.
Moloch, Moloch, nightmare of Moloch, Moloch the loveless, mental Moloch, Moloch the heavy judger of men, Moloch the incomprehensible prison, Moloch the crossbone soulless jailhouse and Congress of sorrows, Moloch whose buildings are judgment, Moloch, you vast stone of war, Moloch the stunned governments. Frighten me out of my natural ecstasy, Moloch whom I abandon. Wake up in Moloch, light streaming out of the sky. Yeah, Jew. Carl Solomon, I'm with you in Rockland. In Rockland, where you're madder than I am. I'm with you in Rockland. I'm with you in Rockland, where you laugh at invisible humor. I'm with you in Rockland, where we are great writers on the same dreadful typewriter. I'm with you in Rockland, where your condition has become serious and is reported on the radio. I'm with you in Rockland, where you bang on the catonic piano. The soul is innocent and immortal. It should never die, ungodly in an armed madhouse. I'm with her in Rockland, where 50 more shocks will never return your soul to its body again from its pilgrimage to a cross in the void. I'm with you in Rockland. In my dreams, you walk dripping from a sea journey on a highway across America, in tears to the door of my cottage in the western night. Our group thought that Howl was a very influential poem because it changed the way that literature could be written. God, that light is bright.
All right, ready? That
This
was
is?
good. Here you go, ready?
Yeah.
The next line is before Hal. There were
Oh, is it on?
Yeah.
Okay. But because how it changed the way that people viewed social norms and it actually gave the obscenities meanings, it changed the way that people viewed these obscenities and therefore changing obscenities in the way that we use them today. Like now, like just saying,
don't say anything.
okay, I'm not going to say anything, definitely not to. Apparently this has to be politically correct. Just, it changes the way that we say them and the way that we view these words. Because, I mean, words are just what you give them meaning, Plain and simple. Boom.